I'm sure when people see the title of this video, they'll presume that I'm one of the many who are going out of their way to try to look for a reason to justify this indictment of Donald Trump, or I'm one of the defenders of Donald Trump. I'm here to let you know that I'm neither of those. I'm not in either group. I'm here as a U.S. citizen, a concerned U.S. citizen. You see, when I see things play out the way that they're playing out with Donald Trump, I start to ask questions. And the number one question I ask is, what is this theatrical performance and how is it going to inevitably affect me? I'm here to encourage all of you who view this video to start analyzing these things from the perspective of, I'm a U.S. citizen and how is it going to affect me? If you're evaluating this through the lens of entertainment or through the lens of politics, you're going to miss the whole thing. You're going to be behind. You're not going to get it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to help you understand that what's going on right now is just show. But I assure you, that show is going to impact you somehow negatively. Don't worry about Donald Trump. Donald Trump will be just fine. I mean, there is really no legal precedent to this entire thing, which is why I'm not here to reiterate and rehash all the details of it, even though in my opinion, there aren't many details. I'm not here for that. I'm here as a citizen. I'm here to plead with you to get you to understand that you have to see this through the proper lens. Else, you're going to miss it. So, stay tuned. What's up, guys? I'm Indigo Rowe. Thanks for tuning in. So, in 2020, that's when I really decided to start paying close attention to Donald Trump, because it was clear to me that the undying, fervent hatred the mainstream liberal media had for him was about something much deeper than politics. The more I started to evaluate the things that Donald Trump said and the way that they rubbed the mainstream media, it was clear to me that he represented something that they hate more than anything. That was an unapologetic, masculine, patriarchal energy. And after I came to the conclusion that that is what they hated, I began to think, well, what's next? How horrible is this thing really gonna get? How much will masculinity be attacked? And we've seen in the last 2 or 3 years just how much and just how nasty that's gotten. But I would watch this man say one thing, and then I would watch the mainstream media left not only misconstrue it or misspeak about what he said, they would deliberately and strategically totally change the narrative of what he said. And once I saw that, I said, okay, this is much deeper than politics. This is something else. This is a little bit beyond the theater. Moving along to what's currently going on with him. People, I'm here to tell you, Donald Trump is going to be just fine. The problem I have is people are evaluating this with the lens of entertainment and politics. When I think about a billionaire who can be put in a situation like this, an ex-president who can be put in a situation like this, I automatically think, what's next for Joe Citizen? How easy will it be for him to be brought before the tribune, if you will, and put on trial? Like, how easy could it be? I don't even have the resources to combat the government the way that he does. And beyond that, I automatically assume that what's going on is some other form of social engineering in an attempt to manipulate voting. The judicial system and the voting system have no credibility remaining. If you believe in those institutions at this point, I really don't know what to tell you. But it's another case of where they force you to play the political game. They're in a position where they have no choice. But as far as credibility, it is finished. So the whole thing with Donald Trump, I believe, is another method to galvanize the people who support Donald Trump, because there are people who are Republicans and conservatives who just simply want to fix the country. There's also people who want to fix the country and are Republican and conservative, but are staunch fans of Donald Trump. I don't like fandom. I can respect Donald Trump because what he's done is tried and true. His track record speaks for itself. So whenever I'm having just idle conversation or even meaningful conversation about Donald Trump, that's something that can't be taken away, and it's something that should be acknowledged. If somebody does a good job, and in this case, a United States president, you can best believe I'm going to give him all the props for that. But I don't worship the man. I'm not a fan of the man, a fanatic. When you venture over into that realm, then you become unreasonable. And then I have to question your motives and everything that you say. But I digress. The galvanizing of that base also galvanizes the left-wing base, because there are people who are Democrats who are not in line with what's going on in this country. There are people who are Democrats, liberals, and progressives who don't even evaluate what's happening in this country from a political standpoint. Most of them don't have policy. They can't even argue their points. For instance, who can argue that Joe Biden isn't doing a crappy job? Who can argue that the Democratic Party has been hijacked by liberals and leftists? No one can argue that. But the problem is the diehard, stand with the home team Democrat is willing to go down with the ship, all in the name of riding for the home team. They don't want to admit that we have a major problem here. That's that fandom again. That's that idolatry again. So when you have both of these bases galvanized the way that they do, especially behind this event dealing with Donald Trump, I mean, like I said, you got people on the left, they're practically orgasmic over this. And even though it has no credibility, you have morons. I mean, these are the people who are voting. You have morons who believe that just the humiliation of this man is enough. They're not even evaluating this with any kind of logic and reason. It's purely emotional. So again, you have both sides galvanized and pumped up over this event because this man is so polarizing. You know what that does? That makes the state of our social fabric very volatile. Don't think history can't repeat itself. We've had civil unrest in this country before. You remember it? You learned about it in history class. You don't think that could happen again? Nothing is new under the sun and everything is cyclical. So as an American citizen, as I prefaced in the beginning of this video, that's my concern. That's what this video is about. I'm concerned about the mushroom cloud, the impending mushroom cloud revolving around this man. And make no mistake, civil unrest would be the perfect excuse for a national emergency to be called. You know what happens if that occurs? You've already had a dose of it during 2020 when you were practically locked in your home. Y'all just don't get it. Y'all gonna allow politics and the theater of it all and your fandom and your idolatry to get us all enslaved. I'm not just talking about proverbial, slavery and being a tax slave and a debt slave. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about literal slave. What the average person doesn't understand is that this empire, as it was constructed and as it's sustained itself for centuries, it's over. The powers that be are done with this country as it's currently constructed. They have ideas for this place. They have something new in mind. And I assure you, what they have new in mind is not in your best interest. And I don't mean to imply that government has ever had your best interest at heart. But what I'm talking about is well above government. Well above government. So the whole purpose of this video is to get people to open their eyes and understand that this whole thing centered around Donald Trump isn't about Donald Trump. It's about you. It's about the plans they have for you. In closing, I'll say this. I want to reiterate to you that the purpose of this video is to get you guys to understand that you have to evaluate this situation involving Donald Trump through the lens of someone who is concerned about what's happening to the country. This isn't about Donald Trump. He'll be just fine. What's happening with him is a show. This is about you. This whole thing is about you. And I'm here to help you guys understand that 2024 is going to be a doozy. When you look back on 2020 and you think about all the trauma of that year was filled with so much trauma. They did such an excellent job of fracturing the psyche and lowering the spiritual frequency of America, and the world for that matter. But when you look at the fracturing of what occurred in 2020 and everything that it done to the human psyche, I think that you can multiply that for 2024. I believe toward the close of this year, going into next year, you're going to see such an influx of You're going to see such an influx of public incidents, school incidents, etc. You guys need to go ahead and start preparing your minds for what's happening. You need to do everything you can to cultivate a heightened sense of awareness so you can be able to perceive and analyze the things that occur in the mainstream media with an open eye. Because if you're evaluating this thing politically, emotionally, you're going to miss it. And I don't want you to miss it. This is my own personal public cry out to you all. Put politics to bed. They're coming for you. They are. And if you don't want to do this, if you don't want to change and shift your perspective for yourself, you better do it for your children. Everyone will be affected. And I hate to be that bearer of bad news. I really do. But somebody has to do this. Somebody has to tell the truth. Somebody has to come to you with reason and logic. But hey, you're going to play this game the way you play it. But just understand that everything is cyclical and history tends to repeat itself. We have to learn from the mistakes of the past. If not, we're going to repeat them. But anyway, I'm Indigo Roll. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you like the video, subscribe and share. And I'll see you guys in subsequent videos. I'm out.